Hello and welcome to the show. I'm here today with the lovely Jo Wood, who is a celebrity author and a TV personality and an entrepreneur. So Jo, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
It's lovely to be
Thank you
here,
so
or
much.
have you here.
Yeah, I was going to say, in your lovely home, so it's wonderful. Jo, it's, where you live, it's just so calming. It kind of reflects, you know, how you are now with all your holistic healing and your nature. It's just wonderful. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about, you know, where it all began for you. You were a model.
Yes.
So when did it? How was all that? How were you discovered?
Well, I was in love with Twiggy.
Oh.
I just wanted to be her. And my mum took me to Lucy Clayton's School of Modelling when I was 14 to do a 2-week modelling course where I learnt to walk with books on my
Sit
head.
up right all, yes, tummy in, chest out.
And then you did a competition at the end, and she made all my dresses and my bikini. It was so great. And so I couldn't wait to leave school to be a model. So then at 16, I walked into an agency called Gavin Robinson, and he took me on, and I became the Sun's Face in 1972. Gosh,
my gosh,
how old is this girl? And started modelling, and I just absolutely loved it. It was like the most fantastic thing that I was up, you know, I was go on the train on my own into London, walk all around the streets doing go-sees. It was safe.
It was. You felt safe then.
You felt safe.
It is. It was a wonderful time though, don't you think? For all sorts of
70s
music. The
was
70s was a great era, and obviously that got you hooked. And what was it about it that you loved? Was it being in front of the audience, or was it just seeing your picture? Or?
I don't know what it was really, because I was a very shy child. And then suddenly I sort of came out of myself with doing modelling. I just love the whole thing of having your picture taken and you know, the vibe of it all. It was great, and I'd love going into my agency, and it was great. Then I met my first husband, and I got married at 18, much to my mother's and father's horror. Then I left him at 20 because I realised I was too young. And then I met my next husband, Ronnie, at 22.
Wow.
And then my life changed then.
Yeah, still young. You know, that's, I mean, but then, you see, if you think back, we used to get married a lot younger. It's only now in this sort of generation, people get married to their 30, 35. But actually then that wasn't young at all. It was quite normal, to be honest.
I had Leah when I was 23. I had Tyrone when I was 27.
Yeah.
So it was I'd done all my kids before I was 30.
And of course, when you married Ronnie, that spiraled you into a completely different world. And how was it for you being in that world?
It was one big party.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
But I was lucky, you know, that we had money and we were able to have nannies, and then I could take the kids on tour with me. It's sort of, the first few years was maniac.
Yes.
Parties and staying up all night and doing lots of drugs and, you know, all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then it sort of calmed down. It actually didn't calm down until about 1990 when I got ill.
Tell us about that.
So in 1990, I think my body had been abused so much with alcohol, especially alcohol. And I got ill, and I was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease.
Really interesting.
Yeah, so for 2 years I was on steroids, and then I felt like they took my soul away. I didn't feel like myself.
So you knew something was going on.
I knew those steroids were the worst thing for me, because I wasn't me. I was shut down, really.
Yeah.
It's
amazing how your body sort of tells you, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you kind of instantly know when something's not right.
Yeah, I was just a different person. And of course, because of the steroids, I got all swollen as well, and my skin was just bumpy. I remember looking at my skin and thinking, how am I going to get rid of all these bumpiness on my skin? And I was swollen from the steroids. They're awful, those steroids. And then I did an article in the Daily Express, and it said, Stone's wife in incurable disease. And it was like,
Oh no!
But they rang me up and they said, we have got so much mail here for you, and can we send this box of mail over? And I sat on the floor with this box full of letters, and I read them all. And one letter I picked up, and it was erratic writing, and he said, I will put your Crohn's disease into remission for life if you follow my diet and take my herbs. I went, oh gosh.
Yeah.
I
What
must
did you
go and
think?
see this.
Did you think that was a crank, or did you think...
No.
Yeah.
But I was a bit worried about the state of his writing.
Yeah.
But he said, come and see me. I'm in Hastings.
Right.
And I got in my car and I drove down to Hastings. And his house was a little bungalow and a big sign outside that said Shangri-La. And his name was Gerald Green.
Right.
Lovely old boy. He was great. And he sat me down and he said, what do you eat?
So straight away onto the diet. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Did you then go through some kind of program with him and tell him, like a food diary?
And I sat there and I thought, why is he asking me what I eat? No doctor had ever asked me what I ate before. So I sat down and told him, me and my sister have lean cuisine meals from the freezer and put them in the microwave. I get the kids McDonald's. I get Kentucky Fried Chicken. I cook on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
And he said, right, we're going to start with your diet. And he started to talk to me about the food. He told me that day about genetically modified food. He told me about the chemicals they spray on the fields and how they build up in your body and they break down your natural immune system.
That's amazing that he was talking about that, because now we talk about that quite freely, but again, back then that wasn't really spoken about.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He changed my life that day, because I walked out of there and I thought, why have we come so far from nature? And that was it, really.
And then that was sort of kind of changed your direction. Yeah. And then what did he do? Did he put you on some kind of a very natural, sort of organic diet, whole foods?
Yeah, he said I had to find as much organic food as I could. I had to cut out red meat, dairy, all the things, white sugar, white flour, all the things that we really know. And I could eat fish. I could eat chicken if I knew where it came from.
Right. He
said if I had to have a drink, it had to be a clean one. It could only be vodka or tequila. He was being really nice to me.
That was nice.
What else did he say? He said all the things that we know now.
Yes.
So I started on my journey of searching for organic food and cleaning up my diet and taking his herbs. One of the herbs he made me take was slippery elm every day.
Wow.
And I still take that occasionally now.
And for those who don't know what that is,
it comes from a bark.
Yes.
Yeah, and it actually can line your gut. It's very good for people with any
kind of
issues.
digestive issues, isn't it? Yes, that's
yeah.
it. And of course now, as you said, that in those days that would have been unheard of. So when you would talk to everybody, your family or friends, and you told them you'd been to see this guy, what was their reaction to it?
They thought I'd gone mad.
Yeah.
Thought I'd gone completely mad. I was on a mission to buy organic food.
Which again, that would have been quite hard.
I went Tesco. I was asking in Tesco. I went everywhere. Yeah. But I found her.
Did you find a herbalist or?
No, I found those little shops.
Little natural, like an organic shop.
Little organic shops that sold vitamins and things like that. And that's how it started. So it built, and then I grew my first crop of potatoes.
Oh, fantastic!
Actually, he told me I couldn't eat potatoes at first, but so I did this with all his herbs and all my diet for 4 months. I never took another steroid again. He said, "You're not taking any more pills," and after 4 months, I felt I was back.
Wow!
It was great. Went to my friend's house in the country. Got so ill. with these pains across my stomach. They rushed me into hospital. They gave me exploratory surgery and found out I didn't have Crohn's disease. I had a perforated appendix.
No. You could have died from that.
That's what the doctor said. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's just, it's incredible though that when, you know, that's why, obviously you're into natural remedies, everything's natural now, which is wonderful. But for people who haven't discovered it, you know, when you try and talk to them about it, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we know exactly what it's doing to our body and how good it is. Yeah. But for those who haven't perhaps tried it, they don't realise, do they?
We are so consumed with processed food and how we grow our food, what comes from the sky. It's everywhere. Our bodies are bombarded with it all the time. It's amazing that we all can survive, really.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Really? Right, we're going to take a quick break, so stay with me and come back and join me in just a minute. Welcome back to the show, and I'm here with Jo Wood. And Jo, lovely to have you. Thank you so much. Honestly, we've only just started talking. We were talking about health before the break and how that man just from Hastings, totally, what was his name again?
Gerald Green.
Gerald Green, how he totally really transformed your life.
Yeah, he changed me forever.
And that was going to be my next question. You know, did he really radically change your life? Did at that point you completely change your food, the way you were eating, the way you were cooking? Tell me about that.
Well, I then understood what the food industry was doing to our food. Yeah. And it was a real awakening for me. And I thought, oh my God, why would they do this? This is in the 90s. Yeah. Why would they do this? Why are they changing the way we've eaten for thousands and since we walked on the earth? Why would they change it? It's all about money. So when I lay in hospital after my operation, so they took away what was my appendix and some of my large bowel, some of my small bowel, which was really inflamed. And I laid there and I thought, from this day onwards, I am going to be an organic girl and I'm going to change the world and make everybody be organic. I know it was a bit of a
but that's okay.
shot. But I still feel that same way too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I became completely obsessed. So obsessed. And the kids, I drove my eldest son, he said, I drove him away from home because he couldn't stand the O word, organic.
No. Yeah.
So what I started to do, I started cooking all the things that I would cook, spaghetti bolognese, but everything was organic.
Now, this was in the 90s.
It was in the 90s.
So this wasn't as easy as it nowadays to find organic food. So
no, it was
that
really
must have been
hard.
a challenge for you to find it.
I found an organic farmer in England, and she would deliver me a box of vegetables every week. And when I lived in Wimbledon, and it just started like that. And I stopped saying the word so much organic because I realised I was driving everybody mad. And Keith Richards told me, he said, the trouble with you, darling, is that you're addicted to organic food. Coming from Keith.
I know.
Oh, that was incredible. I cracked up laughing.
But of course, your whole family were being fed organic food, like Ronnie and the kids.
Yeah.
So, unbeknownst to them, though, that was actually doing them a huge amount of good.
Yeah, my kids are really good with the way they eat, actually. Actually, Jamie was always the worst, but even he is much better as he's got older and he's realised it's all to do with health. You know, what you put in your body
is what you eat.
So important.
It is important.
So I read all sorts of things. I read You Are What You Eat, Super Size Me.
Yes,
remember that book?
I remember that book. I've read
and
that
then
book
my
myself.
brother gave me a book called The Fragrant Pharmacy, and it was all about natural fragrances and how to make them. And I started making my own oils for my face with essential oils, and then I started making it for my friends. And then my friend turned around to me and said, why don't you do it properly, Jo? I said, nah. And then I went home and I saw Ronnie was painting, Ty was off here, Leah was doing this, and I thought, I think I will. Fantastic. So I met Jo Farley, and we had lunch, and she gave me a name of a woman called Colette Hayden, who's a cosmetologist. And I went to see her, and we came up with Jo Wood Organics. and I started making body oil, fragrance, candles. It was a much bigger range at first.
Yes.
And yes, I did that because I
Fantastic.
knew that what you put on your skin goes straight into your bloodstream.
Absorption.
Yeah.
People don't realise it, and everything has got so many chemicals in now.
Everything.
And it's interesting you said candles, because there's been a lot of in the news recently about candles and how we're literally just burning paraffin.
And chemicals.
Yeah, and it's
because
just chemicals.
the chemicals
Yes.
you're breathing in as it burns.
And then people are wondering why they're developing some kind of asthmatic condition, or just having sore throats constantly. And I'm like you, I'm a great believer, and I don't believe in all these plug-in. It's like plugging in a test tube.
Chemicals.
I don't know why you would do that.
They're full of chemicals. Oh,
it's interesting though, because at that time, as I say, that you'd have been way ahead of your time then. So you probably would have come across quite a few skeptics. But tell us, when did you discover homeopathy? Because obviously was that a kind of a natural progression into homeopathy?
Yeah, actually, it was my daughter-in-law at the time. Jesse's wife was Tilly, and she came to me and she said, "Jo, I found this great alternative." And we were about to go on holiday to Africa, and she had an alternative to the malaria jab. And I was like, "You're kidding me."
Oh my
and then she showed me these tiny little balls, and I was, "Oh my God, what is that? Are you sure?" And then I got arnica.
Yeah.
And that was my first thing I ever had, was arnica. And it just went from there. And she had a woman that was in Pimlico. I think her name was Annette. So I went to see Annette, and then Tilly met Simon, and that was it.
And that was it.
That was it. Simon Taffler all the way.
All the way. You're a homeopath, of course.
Yes.
And I mean, Jo, would you say it's changed your life using homeopathy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I get something, like I start feeling a little bit irritated in my throat or something, I will call Simon. Or if something's wrong with the kids, I call Simon and say, my granddaughter, whatever.
And I know, because obviously you went on that natural path, but what was it about homeopathy, and what is it about homeopathy that keeps you on that path, that makes you stick to it? Is it because it works?
Yes, it's because it works, and I believe in it a lot. And it's worked for me. When I got COVID, Simon gave me the remedies to have, and I just took the remedies and I got better. I think people don't believe it. I know, because it seems quite fascinating that you can take these little tiny remedies, but when you think about it, you can take an aspirin, which is small.
Yes.
And
Yes, and there's those pharmaceutical pills that are small. Heart tablets are usually incredibly small. So blood pressure tablets are the same. Yeah. It is.
It's fascinating.
What would you say to the skeptics, to someone perhaps who's not tried it before?
I think if you want to try it, you need to start with arnica, because I think arnica is the one that really made me see that it works.
And that's good, obviously, for bruises, for after surgery, all those sorts of things. In fact, surgeons now recommend arnica.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
So, which is great. And of course, we're delighted now to have you on board as Homeopathy UK's ambassador.
I am absolutely honoured. Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
And what does it mean to you, Jo, to be that?
Well, it means a lot to me, because it means that I can go out and I can talk about it to other people. Because that's so important, that we need to change the way people feel about alternative medicine. And I think homeopathic remedies and homeopathic medicine is so underrated that it needs to be out there.
Yeah, and for it's having a more integrative way of healthcare, giving patients a choice. I always think,
yes,
because so many of our choices now have been taken away.
Yes,
and if we're not saying conventional medicine it's bad. We're not saying conventional medicine should be got rid of. Far from it. We're actually saying no. Homeopathy can actually help with conventional medicine. I work alongside it.
You see, the body is a great thing.
It is.
If you give it the right things, it will heal. And that's what homeopathic medicine is all about. It's just tipping you in one way and tipping you in another, and getting your body to work properly.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah,
it is.
And for now, because obviously you've become an ambassador, which is incredible, and all the work that you've done, you use homeopathy. It's here in your home, which is lovely to see.
Yeah.
Do your friends? I should imagine you encourage everyone to try it.
My daughter's great with it now.
Good.
She's fantastic. Jesse's great with it. Ty, I mean, he's not really got into it yet. But he will. It's time, yeah.
Sometimes it's often, somebody might reach for the homeopathic treatments at the end. They suddenly think, I've tried everything else, let's just try it. Yeah. And often that's the case, but that's fine, because they'll once they've tried it, they'll understand how important it is and how good it is. Yeah,
I always go, that's my first port of call. Yeah. If I get a cough, I get Antart.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's just something. I've got a big box of all my remedies upstairs. Yeah. Just and
you look through it. How fantastic! Yeah. So I mean, if somebody was listening to the show and looking at the show now and saying, I don't know anything about homeopathy, obviously as an ambassador now, you're going to be able to speak publicly about it.
Yes.
And what's one of the first things you would say to people, Joe, who's perhaps not even heard of the word homeopathy?
I think one of the first things I would say, look at me! Yeah. I feel fabulous and I believe in it so much. I think they need to open their eyes to what the pharmaceutical industries do, because once you see what they're doing and to meet somebody like Simon Taffler, meet a really good homeopathic doctor who can gently talk to you about it, because I just know the results. They work. Yeah, they work.
They work.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. We've got to take another break, so come back and join us again in just a minute. Welcome back to the show, Joe Wood. We've been joined by Joe Wood today in your beautiful home, Joe. Thank you so much for having us here. And Joe, I want to talk to you now about your work as a writer.
Yes.
Now, first of all, when did that start? You've written quite a few books, and obviously we're going to talk about your new book. But tell us how you got into writing.
So when I went all organic and launched my range of things, I did a book called Naturally. And in Naturally, I talk about eating clean, give some recipes, talk about different herbs and things like that. So I did that book in 2005, I think.
Right.
I must have a copy somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I split up with my ex-husband, and I sort of put everything aside, and then I did my autobiography. That was fine, and then 2018, I did a book with all my old photographs, which I took on tour during the 80s and 90s.
Incredible.
And so that's called Stoned. I came up with that title. I was quite pleased. Yeah. And if I do another one, I'm going to put Two Stoned.
Two Stoned, Oh, that's a good idea.
If I do another one.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing that book. And then I went on a date with a man, and during that date, he told me how he split up with his wife.
Right.
Oh, great conversation.
I was going to say, did it go to a second date, Joe?
No.
I know.
And he told me how he split up with his wife, and I left there, and I went, as I was walking up towards my car, I thought, what a great story. That would be a great story in a book. And it drove me mad. I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. And then I came up with the woman Flo, because I always loved the name Florence. Yeah. And it just started building from there. And I started writing it on my phone, on my notes on my phone. And I kept writing and writing and writing. I wrote 55,000 words on my notes on my phone.
And I mean, that was your first fiction, really. It is, isn't it? This is your first fiction.
It's fiction. And then I was standing in the kitchen talking to Jack, my son-in-law, reading a bit. What do you think of this, Jack? Da, 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 da. He said, please don't tell me, Joe, you've written your book on your phone. I said, yes. He said, "That's ridiculous. I've never heard anything like that. Go and get your laptop." I said, "My laptop's broken. It's so old."
Yeah.
So he made me go with Leah, buy a laptop. Then he took it from my phone and put it onto Word. And wow, it was much easier.
I was going to say, oh, got a big screen.
It's got chapters and everything.
So you wrote it. How long did it take you to
Last year.
Wow.
Yeah, because I kept having the ideas, and actually I do have a few handwritten notes as well. If I sort of doing that. Anyway, it was. I love doing that. I love doing that.
So, and tell us about the book for those. So it's Resurrection of Flo.
It's called
It's just come out.
Yeah, it's about an older woman who finds out her husband has been misbehaving, kicks him out, and gets really depressed, gets really low, and then she decides, "I've got to get myself together." So she gets back in the gym, and then she goes to see her old acting agent, and she gets back into acting as an older woman, and she starts working, and then she starts dating.
And we leave it there.
Better leave it there.
And when you were writing it, did it just come really quickly? Obviously, it must have done because you were writing on your phone. Bless you.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Like Ty said, I went to this great ball in Scotland. I thought, Flo's got to go to a ball. Yes, and something really weird's going to happen to her there. You know, and then there's another, my friend was going to Ibiza. Yasmin was saying, "Come on, Joe, let's go to Ibiza." I thought, Flo needs to go to Ibiza. So I'm just picking up things, and people would say something, and then I'd remember a story about my friend Sam who wore too tighter jeans, you know, and just...
So it's almost sort of everyday life.
Stuff
pulling
from
things,
here and there and everywhere. And then I would be sitting there tapping away, cracking up laughing. Just writing it, thinking, "Oh, this is really good."
And, and when you were writing it, did you think it would be as successful as it has been? Because it's been really successful for you, and it's only not long. When was it released? Was it July this year? So
well, it's the weird thing is when I was writing it, it was all mine.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds weird.
No, I understand that.
And then it was like, oh my God, it's got to go out to people.
You've put your baby out to the world.
I know. That was a
that's
weird
a bit scary.
bit. And I was at the doctor's the other day, and in London, and I was standing talking to the receptionist, and this girl walked past me, and she said, "Loved your book, Joe."
Oh,
stranger,
lovely.
A stranger.
Oh, that's so good. That must have made you feel so good.
Yeah,
that's my book. That's my baby. Do a little jig.
The girl behind desk said, "Oh, what's that then?
Yeah,
what's that then?"
it.
Oh, I said, "It's called The Resurrection of
How
Flo."
lovely. And did you ever think that's something you would be doing, writing?
Never in a million years.
Strange.
My father always used to say, "You are useless at school." He'd love to have known that his daughter's published 4 books.
No,
isn't that mad?
Now, have you got another one that you're thinking about doing?
The weird thing is, I keep thinking of stories that would be great for Flo. Yeah.
So she's become your central character.
Yeah.
And then you can just write other stories about it.
Yeah,
sounds like a very good
I've
plan.
got this idea what could happen to her next, and I've started writing notes. I can't help it. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
When I got to the end of the book, I was like, phew, thank God that's done.
Relax now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, you need to add a few more 1,000 words." I thought, oh no, I'm over it. But I did, and then I thought, I'm not going to write another book. And then
And now you are.
Unbelievable. What is that about?
When you start to write, is it in the mornings, or when you first wake up, or is it late at night?
It's usually towards the evening, and I can sit down. I've had my dinner.
And you just sort of, back on the phone. You're meant to be on your computer.
Oh yeah, on my computer.
And then does it all just come to you, and then you just sort of think, right, I'm going to write that down?
Yeah.
Does it come in like little pockets of information almost?
Well, it comes as an idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could be just a little thing, and I think, oh yeah, that needs to happen. Yeah,
That's great.
just you see, I think I want her to go to South America because I loved South America.
Beautiful country.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want her to go to South America, and I want something mad to happen to her.
Flo's going to travel. Flo. So when do you think you'll be, publishing this one?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Are you under pressure?
No,
Has your publisher said
I've
you've
not got
to
any
know?
deal or
Oh,
anything.
good,
No, nothing.
good. So you can write it as and when you want to.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing. And is it weird? Have you been into shops and the bookshops and seen it? Obviously, because you've done a massive book tour. Tell us about that.
Well, I went down
you've been all over the country.
I went down to Southend.
Yeah.
My old stomping ground, and I did a big evening there.
Yeah.
And I had all these.
How was that?
Sit there and talk about my book and be asked questions and yeah.
Was that a bit surreal?
Yeah. The sad thing is that my brother used to live there and he went a couple of years ago, and it was like I haven't been down there since. So I was like, sort of, where is he?
Oh, he'd have been proud of you though, writing that.
I'm sure he was sitting right there next to me.
Yes, yeah. And people's response to it has been really good, hasn't it?
Yes.
I haven't seen any negative reviews. And as you say, when you let your baby go out to the public, unfortunately, there's always going to be people that are not going to like it. But I haven't seen any negative reviews about it.
No, I had a negative review on Amazon.
Oh, did you?
He said,
only one.
Yeah, and he said, what did he say? He said, predictable and repetitive. I thought, how can my book be
It was your first fictional novel, for goodness sake.
Predictable? It's not predictable.
Yes. Oh, we won't take any notice of that, yeah.
Nor him.
And do you find that when you're, with your children, your grandchildren, do they inspire you as well to think about, their stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my kids do, and my kids are quite good because when I was writing this and I was getting a bit stuck, I would call them and say, "Have you got any stories? Do you remember any stories?" And Jamie was actually much better. He reminded me of the guy that caught himself alight. So I thought, all right, that's another thing. That's a good one.
Yeah, see, it's all the human stories though that'll make up your book.
You have to get it from somewhere. You have to be inspired to write from somewhere. You can't just. I don't think you can just make it up from nothing. It's like when you listen to music and songs. Songs are inspired by all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Romance, heartache and all that. So I think that's a bit like writing a book. It's like writing a song because you get inspiration.
Absolutely. And when you released it for the first time, you showed it to the world, did you go into panic mode? Did you think, oh dear, what have I done?
No, I was curious of what the press might say. And then I sat down with a guy from the Times. I thought, oh, this is going to be a test.
Yeah.
And he sat down and I said, and he said, love the book, Jo.
Fantastic.
I said, you did?
Yes.
You did?
Oh, that's
He
amazing.
said, loved the book.
Wonderful.
And then I did this great interview and he was great. And I thought, if I can impress the guy from the Times,
you're doing well.
I'm happy with that, even if it's just him.
Well, it's a fabulous book and it's available on Amazon and all other bookstores as well. So great.
Yeah.
Right. We've got to take another break. So come back again for just a minute and we'll be back with Jo Wood. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. Jo, just before the break we were talking about your amazing book and you as an author now. And one question I wanted to ask you was, have you ever thought about writing any music? I mean, you've been in that musical world for a lot of your life. Yeah. Have you ever been inspired to write a song at all?
Yes, well, I love to write poems actually.
Poems become music.
Yeah,
so,
and I wrote this poem when I was first going out with Ronnie. It was called Lost and Lonely. And he put it to music. I'm lost and I'm lonely and looking for you. Yeah, so that was on his album 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I helped him write a song called If You See Her.
Wonderful.
And there was something else I wrote as well. I can't remember what it was now. How can I not remember? But my Lost and Lonely one,
Yes.
I was so proud that my poem had got on his album.
How amazing is
Yeah.
that? So you'll continue to do that. You're going to continue to write, obviously, because you've got a new book. But what else are you doing? Now you're relaunching, aren't you? Your longevity wellness. So tell me about that.
Yes. So years ago I discovered maca powder.
Right. Tell people what that is in case they don't know
Maca is
what that is.
a Peruvian root that the Peruvians would chew as they're climbing up to high altitudes. But not only that, it really is great at balancing hormones. So I've taken that for years, and I just put frothy milk and I add a spoon.
Add a spoon.
Well, you sort of start off with a quarter of a spoon and then you get more and more. So that's been natural every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's why when I went through my change, I just glided through like there's nothing. So then I discovered Hichu Wu, and Hichu Wu is a Chinese root, and they take it for longevity, they take it for their hair, they really like, Chinese love Hichu Wu. So then I started adding Hichu Wu. So then I found ashwagandha, then I found lion's mane, then I found, I've known about reishi mushroom for years, just all these, I've got all these jars all full of different powders.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my son, and my son does CBD oil. He extracts it himself, and he makes really high quality.
It's become very popular now.
Yeah. And then he also has lion's mane supplements, reishi, cordyceps, turkey tail. And I was saying to him, I want to do a powder that everybody can have, that you just, with the roots. And he said, why don't we do a supplement? I argued with him that I think my powder would be better, but he won. And so we have 3 mushrooms, lion's mane, reishi and turkey tail. So turkey tail is for your white blood cells, reishi are great for your immune health. Then you've got Hichu Wu, maca, and astragalus.
Right.
I love astragalus as well. That's another good root.
Tell us about astragalus.
Astragalus is another. Oh, look at that! Was that a fly?
I don't know. It's come to join us. It's fine.
Astragalus is a great root for your immune health. So that's what.
All these ancient roots are so incredible, aren't they? We could learn a lot from the Chinese medicine.
I tell you a great story.
Yeah, go on.
They
tell me.
found an ancient man up in the mountains in Asia, I think, and he was frozen in time, but really, really ancient. And when they went through him, in his pocket, he had a reishi mushroom.
No.
Yeah. So
See,
they knew about it then. Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, the Chinese medicine's been around for centuries.
Yeah.
And they always have had such good health. It's only since they've introduced the westernised diet that things like cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of those have come into their play. There's statistics, many studies that have shown that.
Yeah, it's because we're messing with nature.
We're messing with their food.
We're messing with our food. We're messing, and we have to somehow get back to a more natural way of eating and life.
I think that, I think now the young, I believe that as well. And, and I'm hoping that, my son, my daughter will understand that this is what's happening and will want to make that change, because it is going to be them that make that change. And it is lovely to see some really inspirational young entrepreneurs really trying to change the direction.
And you would think in this day and age, with all our knowledge and technology, we wouldn't need to use all these chemicals on our food, because we know all about the plants and what they do to us and how to grow them naturally and without chemicals. We can do it great.
But we don't see. I don't know what it is. Are we not relying on our own resources? I'm not too sure. But
I don't think we're trusting ourselves really. No, you know what it is.
Yeah.
it's all about money.
Yes, marketing.
Yeah.
You see, the
That's
marketing.
all comes down
if
to
you think
that.
about when you even on your travelling on the motorways, if you think about when you go to, so that you stop off at the breaks, motorway services, there's never anything healthy in those motorway services. No. It'll be all the, the ones that, the McDonald's, the Kentucky Fry, the Pizza
They
Hut.
want to keep you sick.
Yes.
They want to keep you sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the longevity.
Yes.
Yeah, better get back to
Better
that.
get back to
The longevity. So me and my son has a lab, so he hand makes them.
Fantastic.
And we're relaunching them with new packaging.
Wonderful. And where will they be available? Where can people
on
buy
my
them?
website?
Okay.
Joe Wood Organics.
Okay, fantastic.
And on longevity website.
Fantastic, brilliant. Yeah. And do you think you'll do some more? Do you think you'll discover?
Yeah, I want
products?
to do these powders because I do powders for my friends as it is.
Powders are very good.
Yeah, my friend Fran Cutler, she can't live without my powder. I make her up, and so for her, I think, what did she need more of?
Yeah.
So I sort of do it for her. And then my friend who's got pancreatic whatever's going on in her body, I make her I made her a good powder so that she gets some nutrition and help in her diet. And then my other friend Omi, he's got heart disease, so I'm making powders as well.
So let's go back to homeopathy, because we've got this massive event. Homeopathy UK has got a huge event.
I can't wait.
So what does that mean to you to be celebrating homeopathy, which is what the whole event is going to be geared around? Talking about the history, talking about Samuel Hahnemann, who obviously is the founder of homeopathy. Yeah. What does that mean to you, Jo?
I think it's fantastic that it's there for everybody to come to and learn, because I think it's all about education. People need to be educated. I'm learning things about it all the time. So for it to be in an event where I can go to and meet people and talk about my experience, that would be great.
Yeah, and I think as well it's for the young people, isn't it? For the students,
Yeah.
We're trying to get as many young people to come along as well, because we need that next generation of homeopaths, and we need to say to them that, this is a good career for you to do. Do you think there'll ever be a time again when homeopathy will be back into the NHS, for example? Obviously, we lost that in 2017.
Oh, was it in the
Yes,
NHS?
2017. It was in the NHS. Yeah. It's still in the NHS in Scotland, but only in certain parts of Scotland. But do you ever see a time when we can have a more integrative healthcare, where we do have more of a choice of the medicines that we choose to take?
Yes, I hope so, because the more people are disillusioned with the health that pharmaceutical, big pharma, people are getting disillusioned because it's not working. It's keeping them alive, but not curing them. It's not getting them back to health. It's easy to take a pill, but every day, but it's not getting you better. It's just keeping you like that.
Yes, it's kind of marring the symptoms almost. It would take the pain away, but it's not taking the root
it's
cause
like
of
when
the
I
pain.
was ill.
Yes.
I was on the steroids, and
Yes.
it was the root cause. I mean, they didn't even know what was wrong with me.
It's incredible to think, isn't it, that we live in such a world where we're so awash with information now. Like you said, you'd think that we would have a better understanding about what's going on with their food, with their life, with their medicines. But do you think there's a shift? Do you think there is a shift where people are actually beginning to question now?
Yes, I really do. I think people are looking for a better answer, a more natural answer. And you can just see it on things like Instagram. People are talking about food they're eating, they're talking about fasting, they're talking about natural medicine, and I love that. If there's anything on Instagram that I love, is people talking about the right things about health.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on Instagram about people talking about homeopathic remedies.
No, and that's what we've got to change.
Yeah.
That's what's got to change. And again, it's a voice. Lots of people don't even know anything about homeopathy. So that's what we're going to change. And obviously the event will be a good opportunity. So it's wonderful you're going to be there, and wonderful you've become an ambassador for Homeopathy UK. So
I am so chuffed.
Jo, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank you so
Monica.
much for inviting me in your home to be here today. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Lovely.
Thank you. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, but come back and join me again very soon. Bye-bye for now.